here's Brody Brazil.
You know, on one hand, it feels like just yesterday, Steph Curry was on the rise. He had not yet won an NBA title, which kind of felt like he was destined for greatness. And Under Armour as a company was also kind of just getting started. I remember thinking, wow, Steph Curry and Under Armour, they're going to do a shoe deal together. Never really put those two together. But they merged and they lasted for a lot of years. And now, I suppose the other half of this is it does feel like a lot of years, more than a dozen years of this combination and connection and collaboration. And now these two sides are parting ways. We're going to dive into what both sides are saying here. This is a mutual parting of ways. Steph Curry and his Curry brand with Under Armour, they're both agreeing to just step aside and do something separate. But I also want to give some thoughts about maybe what's next for Under Armour. Why did they choose to let Curry go, let him walk away, and maybe what is next for Steph Curry. So let's dive into the statements, and we'll begin on the Under Armour side here. Kevin Plank is Under Armour's founder and CEO. Kevin said, quote, "It's been an incredible privilege to work with Stephen, who as a brand president, or a president, I should say, of Curry Brand, has been much more than an ambassador. He's become a thoughtful and strategic business leader. Together with our teammates, he helped build something rare, a brand with credibility, community impact, and product that performs at the highest level. For Under Armour, this moment is about discipline and focus on the core UA brand during a critical stage of our turnaround. And for Stephen, it's the right moment to let what we've created evolve on his terms. We'll always be grateful for what he's brought to the UA team. This move lets two strong teams do what they do best. Under Armour is focused on product innovation and performance for athletes at every level. Curry Brand gets the independence to determine its own future. That's good for Stephen, and it's good for UA. On the Curry side of things, here's what Steph said, quote, "Under Armour believed in me early in my career and gave me the space to build something much bigger and more impactful than a shoe. I'll always be grateful for that." And again, remember when he signed this Under Armour deal, I don't even know if the Warriors were yet a playoff team, certainly not a championship team. So all of this happened before the world really took true notice of what Steph Curry was capable of. Quote, "Curry Brand was created to change the game for good, and over the past 5 years, we successfully changed the game for kids, for communities, and for basketball. What Curry Brand stands for, what I stand for, and my commitment to that mission will never change. It's only growing stronger. I'm excited for a future that's focused on aggressive growth with a continued commitment to keep showing up for the next generation," end quote. I think that's a classy way to put it. I think that's, on both sides, really professionally done, but especially from Curry's ambition, right? Like, I'm now going to take this opportunity to maybe even do more with where we've already been in this Curry brand. So in terms of Under Armour and going through their turnaround and some of the changes, this is the first thing that I suspected, right? Like, Under Armour is in trouble, and to the point where it's whatever they were paying Steph Curry. It's not the fact that they weren't selling his shoes, and I don't know the total volume of product they were still moving or selling, or the cost versus revenue of the Curry brand shoes. Like, the shoes are probably the most popular part. I don't know if that part made sense anymore, but you could tell that overall they were going through this fiscal restructuring program. Like, those exactly were their words. And they also put out this statement as part of their annual report saying, quote, "The company estimates that its total global basketball business, including Curry Brand, will approximate $100 million to $120 million in revenue for fiscal 2026. In connection with the separation of Curry Brand, the company does not anticipate a significant effect on its consolidated financial results or profitability." Basically, they can detach from Curry Brand and not do too much worse as a business, maybe somehow do better. I don't know. Again, sales versus whatever they were paying Steph as part of this contract. They're separating from him and saying that it's not going to impact negatively Under Armour's business. So look, I think that's a huge part of it, where Under Armour is at in all of this. There's also where Steph Curry is in all of this with his basketball career. More on that in just a second. But all of this goes back to 2009 when Steph signed with Nike initially. And that went for a couple years until 2013. He took a meeting with Nike, maybe to do a little bit more. That infamous meeting, no, not famous meeting, infamous, look it up. He had the meeting, and Nico Harrison, the now former Mavs GM, also former Nike vice president, he was part of this meeting. He's not the one who apparently mispronounced Steph's name as Stephon Curry, and also presented a PowerPoint which had the template there for Kevin Durant. Imagine showing up. You're Steph Curry. You've been with Nike for a couple years. They mispronounce your name when talking to you or about you, and then they show you a PowerPoint like, hey, here's our pitch to you, and it's got Kevin Durant's name on it. Oops. So Steph goes and signs with Under Armour. Not just the Nike fact of getting it wrong and not having a great meeting, but also the fact that with Under Armour, Steph could really be the face of that brand. There were a lot of things that just aligned, but again, back in, 2013, this was a little bit more primitive back then. Steph was more primitive, Under Armour was more primitive, so you kind of wondered, what are these two different entities capable of doing together? We know that in 2013, in the very first year of this endorsement, agreement, connection, whatever it was a $4 million a year value back then. We know it increased over time. We know that in 2023, these two sides extended the deal, so we're only, 2 years removed from that, and it's coming to an end. But the value went up over time. The value also included stock options during the extension. After the 10 years, there was an extension. So the point is, we don't actually know yet the true value of what Curry's going to get out of all these years with Under Armour, but it is estimated anywhere between $300 million and $1 billion total value over time for everything he's done just with Under Armour alone. This has nothing to do with, his day job of being an NBA player. So he did pretty well with Under Armour over all the years. They put out 12 different shoes, all the different colorways to go with it, as well as merchandise and other things too. But the 13th and final shoe, Curry shoe with Under Armour, it has still yet to come out. It drops February 2026, and it's going to be available, again, in all the different colorways and with merchandise to go along with it until October 26. So basically 11 months from now, and then that's it. Under Armour will not sell any more Curry brand. They're technically done with him as soon as the shoes come out, but they're really done in October of 2026. The Curry brand and logo, the one you see that Steph wears on his hat sometimes, it's obviously all over the shoes. It's kind of that little squiggly SC with like the 3 little stripes on it, obviously for a three-pointer. All of that goes with Steph Curry. And essentially, Curry gets to take that brand. I mean, it is him and his brand. He gets to take that with him kind of like as being a free agent. And so instantly, I know what you're thinking. Is this a Nike deal? Is this a different brand deal? I don't even know who's out there anymore to do deals with individuals like this anymore. I don't think Adidas is a thing. Reebok really went out of business. Who is doing deals with athletes anymore? I suppose we'll find out if Curry's going to latch on with somebody or maybe do his own thing. So that's one part of it. The other part we don't know is who gets to keep the footwear catalog, like the templates for all the shoes, because inevitably in 10 to 15 years, when they want to make the Curry 7s all over again, who gets the right to do that? Is it the Curry brand or is it Under Armour, or who gets those templates? Who gets that catalog? We don't know. And just like the Jordans, right? When they come out and start making the old ones new all over again, that's exactly what we're talking about here. All of the other Curry brand athletes, like De'Aaron Fox and some others in college, they actually stay with Under Armour. So really and truly, Under Armour is only separating from Steph Curry and the Curry brand, to make that clear. But all of this was mutual. All of this was amicable. All right, so let's get to some takeaways here. What happened? Why did they split? Like, you would think that if they were doing well and both sides were happy, why not continue this until Curry retires? Why not even continue after that? This is my next main point here. Steph as a brand, I think, is going to do just fine selling shoes and products and merchandise well after he's done playing basketball. And I don't know that his end to the NBA career is as soon as people think. He's taken real good care of himself. Knock on wood, he has survived a lot of physical different ailments and injuries and the ankle stuff that was a long time ago. He's done pretty well health-wise in his career, so he could keep playing. He's got a lot of assets, obviously mentally thinking ahead of the game, but also, again, physically taking good care of himself. So I don't think Steph is going to be done as soon as anybody may be considering right now. I think he's got a lot of years ahead. But again, his brand could continue whether he's playing or not. So money for Under Armour and whatever their situation is, the timing of Steph's career, like if he had just won, I don't know, 2 NBA titles in a row or 2 in 3 years, or if he was in the midst of his peak and his apex, I don't think Under Armour is dropping him for a split second. But they realize he is, no matter what, at the end of something. He's not at the start of it. He's not even at the middle of it anymore. He's at the end of something. And so maybe they're just taking this opportunity to detach. And the future too, right? For Steph Curry, he's looking at Under Armour and saying, well, maybe if you're not in this and I get to do now really what I want to do, this has been successful. I know the numbers. I know what this does. I can take this somewhere else. Maybe it truly is the best timing for both sides. Again, Steph is a brand. He can continue selling afterwards. I have no reservations about that. But it brings me to Under Armour. And at this point, are they now looking for a new face of their brand? Do they need one? Maybe they're getting away from that business model entirely. Maybe they're not in the market for, having somebody getting paid $10, $15, $20, $30 million a year just on endorsements alone. Maybe they're just slashing that out of the budget. Maybe it is that simple. Or maybe they're looking for their next face of the brand type player. Lastly here, I'll just say credit to Steph and credit to Under Armour. The shoes they made over the years, just shoes alone, I thought were really cool. I thought Steph did the brand well. I thought Under Armour did the shoes really well for Steph. Again, back in 2013 when these two aligned, I thought, wait a second, Under Armour just makes like shirts and shorts and outerwear. They're not really a true shoe manufacturer. And at that point, wait, like Steph Curry hasn't even won an NBA title yet. Does he deserve his own shoes? Like, is he that big? He's getting a shoe deal, really? Well, look what it turned out to be for both sides. Pretty darn good. So again, credit to Steph and credit to Under Armour for being so great for very long. But now again, parting ways. Just thought this was interesting. Let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. Also, thumbs up down there helps me, this video and this channel. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you're brand new here. I would love to see you back one more time for the next video. And you know what? One more thing to put in the comments. What do you think Curry does next? Where does he sign that next brand deal? Put that in the comments. I can't wait to see.